Boom! What's up, everyone? Mark Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Okay, time to tone it down a bit. This is something we talk about a lot here, but we're going to get through this, and we're going to talk about what's causing it. We're going to talk about how sad it is. And also, I don't want people to jump into conclusions. Now, I would just like to say this. Now, back in the day, in the 90s, there was a college basketball player that made national headlines because he collapsed on the free throw line. He had a congenital heart defect. So throughout the years, there have been athletes who have died, just died. And unfortunately, the body is such a complex system that sudden death occurs. And it sucks and it hurts, but it seems like it's happening much more now than it's ever happened. And it seems like the bodybuilding community has been stricken as much or more than any other athletic community on the planet. We saw a lot of the soccer players at the beginning of 21 and 22. We saw them collapsing on the field with heart issues. Since 2020, exactly, it seems that these occurrences have happened more frequently. Now, there's a lot of reasons why these can happen, but it just seems like it's happening at a faster pace. And it seems to be happening more and more in the bodybuilding community. There was a time about 2 months ago on this channel where I had, I think, 3 videos in 5 days about people passing away, bodybuilders, fitness influencers passing away. Now, the first thing people point to is number 1, steroids, and number 2, the experimental technology that people were forced to take in some instances. And I think they could both be a part of the problem because we don't know, because we're not funding these studies. You have statistics that heart issues are up, that myocarditis, occurrences are increasing. But could that be from the virus itself? Could that be from steroids itself? Now, steroids have been in use in bodybuilding for decades, copious amounts of steroids. Yet we've never seen anything like this. And I can tell you, steroid use has not exponentially increased. Now, people do push the envelope, but they always have. In the 90s, we had people injecting Nubain so they wouldn't feel pain during training. They'd be able to train harder and longer. You had people megadosing insulin. Dan Duchaine had his insulin protocol. You had people taking DNP, something that can literally burn you from the inside out and end your life. With that being said, let's read this story about this young up-and-coming bodybuilder. Yeah, let's just read this story, and then we can talk about it. Again, the chat is open. This is live. If you're watching this on replay, please be sure to comment down below. Let's have a discussion in the comment section as well. But for now, if you have a chat, I will gladly love to read most of them at the end of this video. So let's go ahead and let's read this story from Generation Iron by Greg Patuto. He's been on this channel a lot. Great writing, Greg. 19-year-old bodybuilding champion found dead after suffering heart attack. Matheus Pavlak overcame childhood obesity to become a champion on stage. Great looking guy. Phenomenal physique, right? Brazilian bodybuilder Matheus Pavlak was found dead in his home in Brazil on Sunday. The 19-year-old bodybuilding champion reportedly suffered a heart attack. Pavlak overcame childhood obesity and transformed his physique in an incredible way to be able to compete on the bodybuilding stage. I myself was a fat kid, and fitness, powerlifting, a little bit of modeling, and then bodybuilding allowed me to overcome my childhood obesity. And to be able to compete on the bodybuilding stage, Pavlak began training in 2019 and working with Lucas Chagadi 3 years later. The trainer shared an emotional message in the news. Today ends in a sad day. It's probably translated. The loss of a great friend, a spectacular boy who leaves us early, a tragedy that took us by surprise. Had a bright future ahead, a respectable athlete. God has his plans. It's hard to understand. I don't have words to say the weight it has in my heart. Here he is right there. Okay. Yeah, that would need translated for me. So Matheus Pavlak's incredible transformation. Tragedies described Pavlak as a respected athlete with a brilliant future ahead of him in the sport of bodybuilding. He was a regular in his hometown of Santa Catarina, which I visited before. It's a beautiful town, where he trained and took the stage for many competitions. Pavlak recently competed in May, where he finished 4th and 6th in regional competitions. He was crowned Mr. Blumenau in 23 after winning gold in the U23 competition. Tragedies shared that Pavlak began training to overcome childhood obesity, and he was able to accomplish many of his goals. No matter how difficult or impossible your dream is, if you really want it, you will get there. Pavlak wrote in an Instagram caption in 2022. Here is him as a fat child. Matheus Pavlak's death follows an unfortunate string of tragedy within the sport. Tragedies worked with Pavlak the last few years, and together they were able to accomplish great things. I was his first coach, and I'm very proud to have had the opportunity to take care of him as a son. I promised him that one day he would beat me, and said and done. The first time we competed together against each other, he ended up winning. Generation Iron sends condolences to family and friends. For more information, follow Generation Iron. Thank you, Generation Iron, for the story. A very, very sad tragedy. So young, taken too soon. The question is, why are these athletes dying? And we're not allowed to talk about this, and I'll get censored on YouTube, so I'll kind of refrain from what language I use. But it seems like something happened in 2020 and 2021 that has greatly accelerated the rate of death among athletes. It greatly has accelerated the occurrences of heart issues. Now, this isn't just in bodybuilding. You've seen football players, you've seen basketball players, LeBron James' son, Bronny. You've seen an increase in occurrences of cardiovascular issues unlike anything I've ever seen. And the data backs it up. I don't have it pulled up right now, but heart attacks are up. Heart disease is up. Cancer is up. All these things are up, and I don't know the answer. But why can't we throw out potential answers without being censored? What powerful lobbyist is lobbying the government who has been proven to censor social media? Zuckerberg just literally released a statement. We talked about this on Evening Rants with Alan Roberts and myself, which is live every single Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard on youtube.com/evening rants. That's youtube.com/evening rants. We are live every night. We started 2 episodes ago. We were, and we still are, but we're not exclusive, the #1 primetime podcast exclusively on Rumble and X. Now that we're on YouTube, we can no longer claim that. So with that being said, why can't we talk about this? Why are we being censored? Science and just human nature should be to see a problem, to throw out a bunch of hypotheses, no matter how absurd they might be, and to test those hypotheses, to debate those hypotheses, to study those hypotheses. However, we're in a day and age where we cannot do that. For some reason, could it be an industry, the big pharma industry, that actually accounts for 75% of the ad revenue for both CNN and MSNBC? Could that be? I've even seen big pharma ads roll out on my pre-roll on YouTube. Big pharma controls everything. So with that being said, who's the one suppressing us? If it's not big pharma and we're pushing this medical disinformation line, why can't we question this? Look, guys, this 19-year-old was obese as a kid, got into shape, probably in better shape no matter what he's taken than when he was obese. And he dies at 19. In my opinion, there's a couple things. #1 is he was in Brazil. In America, even though they tried to do it, we had the right to object and not take certain things. Sure, they tried to make our lives miserable, but people like me refused to take it. And we're thriving and doing fine. Some people, just to travel, just to do whatever they want to do, some people to work at their place of employment, were forced to take this, well, untested therapy. With that being said, could that be a factor in it? Can we look into if that's a factor? And if it is a factor, can we discover treatments? Can we discover things that will mitigate some of the damage done by this? Or maybe it was the sickness itself. Because we know that viruses can be very inflammatory to the heart. And once the heart is scarred, the heart is scarred. You have people who get fevers and get brain damage for life because their fever was too high for too long. So the question is, how do we mitigate these problems? What do we do? Can we talk about it? Can we as a people, can we demand that the government stop suppression on free speech, suppression on simply asking questions, and suppressing the voices that simply want answers? I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have any skin in the game. At the end of the day, I'm tired of seeing people die. I'm tired of seeing us not being able to question this. This isn't simply steroids. It just isn't. It could be, but why all of a sudden? Why didn't we see this happen? You've had teen nationals for how long? They don't even have it anymore, but you had bodybuilders. You had 19, 18, 17-year-olds on stage. Obviously not natural, but they weren't having these issues that we're having now. What is causing this? And how can we fix this? Because I don't know about you, but I have an 18-year-old daughter. I have a 16-year-old son. I have an 11-year-old son. I don't want to see them or their peers dropping dead and we not be able to question why it is the rate of death is higher. We know that heart disease is up. We know that myocarditis, something I didn't even know about until 2022. We know that that is exponentially increased, and it's been directly linked to the experimental thing. So why can't we question that? With that being said, guys, thoughts and prayers go out to this young man and his family and everybody who knew him and everybody who just learned about him, because life is fragile. I can die right now. You can die right now. All we can do as human beings is mitigate the risk of dying, decrease your morbidity risks as much as possible without, of course, hindering your ability to live. I'm not saying fast for a week straight. I'm not saying do crazy stuff like sleeping in Tupperware. What I'm saying is we do little things. Maybe it's going in the sauna. Maybe it's weight training. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's eating more fruit. Whatever it is, we do what we think is best to increase our health, our life experience, and our longevity. But if we see something societally, if we see something on a macro level that is making people die, can we talk about it? Can we have these discussions without anybody throwing flames, without anybody saying I'm a vax denier and this and that? Look, man, my children all have all their childhood V's, man. They all have them. I mean, everything from meningitis to whatever they gave. This was the only one. I'm like, time out. Can we think about this first? Can we test this a little bit? So I think just me having caution, I think was the best decision of my life, because I see people having a bunch of health issues that we don't have, that the people I know who didn't get it don't have. But that's not saying that it's what's caused that issue is exactly what's causing it. But there's something in our environment. There's something that some, if not many people are or have taken that is causing an uptick in these cases, in the things like this. And that's what we have to talk about. But with that being said, I'm going to go to the chat right now. Thanks for hearing my my little monologue there. And I would like to talk to you guys. From Ryan Ziolkowski. Energy supplements, even the legal canned and roids, are no joke, guys. I highly doubt this guy died from monster consumption. Okay. From ED209, it's 100% safe and effective. See, the fact they said that is just maddening. There's nothing in this world that is 100% safe and effective for anyone. That right there was a red flag. Some people just have bad reactions to steroids. So you're convinced this was 100% steroids, nothing congenital, nothing he was forced to take, none of that? Okay. Sure. It's your opinion. You're free to have it. Just like some people have bad reactions to medications and also foods. I don't think you can be allergic to steroids. And there's no indication that that's what caused this. And also, like, he's 19. I don't know about that. Mark cares about these people as human beings. Good. I do care about them. Because remember, a lot of the bodybuilders we lost, I was at least somewhat close with. Sean Roden, John Meadows, I was very close with, Jerry Ward. It's been a rough few years. And I know what their families went through. And I know that this guy's family is going through a lot right now. So all we could do is be sympathetic to what they're going through, right? Like, we need to be sympathetic with what they're going through. It's like some people could smoke a pack a day their entire lives and no cancer. Another person could live the healthiest life and die from cancer. Some people just don't take steroids well. That could be it. However, steroids don't just have that acute effect. They don't. The triglycerides, all that stuff, like that is something that builds up. That is a long-term effect. There's no case studies of someone injecting steroids and dying right there, right? It's not that. You get alcohol poisoning. I've never heard of testosterone poisoning, right? It's probably more the exotic stuff, but if you're careful and knock over 300 milligrams test with 30 milligrams Anavar in the summer for 8 weeks, you should be fine, but most people slam way more than that. So I want to know where you got those numbers. Why test? Why Anavar, number one? Why 300 milligrams? Why not 250? Why not 350? Why not 240? And why 30 milligrams of Anavar? Why not 10? Why not 40? So, I mean, throwing arbitrary numbers out there, I think does more disservice than service. 300 milligrams test and 30 milligrams Anavar won't do shit. We have Gregorio Miller, who's jacked. Gregorio, I'm just guessing that you take slightly more than that. Don't take experimental drugs. Yeah, I can side with that. What up, CH? How you doing, brother? If your training is good and you gain a lot, most are just too stupid to train right. I'm not going to argue with that. People just don't train hard enough. Not gonna knock that one. Have you ever met Greg Valentino in real life? No, but we have spoken on the phone and over text multiple times, regularly. Great guy. It looks like the American flag is melting behind you. Is that a subliminal artistic message to the current state of USA? No, it's made by a veterans organization. 100% of it goes towards that veterans organization and charity. I love the organization so much that I bought one of these for here. I also have it in the Tiger Fitness gym in Ohio. I can't remember which flag company it was, but I really like it. It's my backdrop. And no, I do not think America is melting. This may be obvious, but what is he on something? I mean, we could probably assume, but again, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. He left this word from Yael Teldaruf. Tell the truth. Why lie? Tell the truth. He left this world before I had a chance to get a midlife crisis, before he lost family members, and the world sees his picture as a champ on stage. That's a win in my book when you think about it. No, it's not. I've said this before. I said it in my last video, man. Oh, by the way, my new channel is where all my videos are at youtube.com/@lowbliner.tv, youtube.com/@lowbliner.tv. I only use this channel for lives now. I do a video a day, 6 days a week on the other channel, youtube.com/@lowbliner.tv. Please subscribe. I want to live till I'm 110 years old. Did he just compete? Apparently from the article, I think he did. Appreciate every freaking day. Thank you, Kevin. Why lie? Tell the truth. Yes, anyone could die at any moment. You know the rapper Fat Man Scoop? He dropped like a fly on stage a few years ago. His name also fly. So yeah, obesity is the #1 comorbidity. So basically, fat people just do the dying, and that's just the truth. Fat people are more predisposed to pretty much everything. So it kills your immunity. It causes your body to be constantly inflamed. Bottom line is just don't be fat. I agree, Mark. Totally untested drug with many undocumented side effects, such as Bell's palsy. I never got the shot, but the ones who did keep getting sick a lot more than me. Yeah, this guy didn't look healthy at all. I don't think anybody looks healthy on stage. Whether you're natural or on steroids, like, you're so lean. I looked way more unhealthy when I competed naturally in my late 20s. Like, dude, my face was sunken in. I looked like I had AIDS. Yeah, nobody looks good on stage, bro. I'm sure he looked fine in his off-season pictures. From Charles Off Denson, if you question one thing, people call you flat earther. If you question just one vaccine, you are vax deniers. You're right. You're right. Sleeping in Tupperware, don't criticize it until you've been burped at bedtime. Thank you, Kevin, for adding brevity to the situation, or levity. Hi, Tiger Fitness. These stories make me sad. Kenna, they make me sad too. They make me sad too. From Deity Clarity, thanks for using sucralose and not aspartame. Yeah, no problem, man. Our pleasure. Our pleasure. From Theme Pro, we know the likely reason. Give the current era. I'm guessing you're talking about the jab. Jade Silverstone, he's from Brazil. There are illnesses out there that are not here in the US, so I'm at a loss. Yeah, I mean, look, man, I was going to travel to Liberia once for I was going to do a humanitarian mission. My buddy, his name was Doko Wase, and Doko ran you can look it up. It's called One Goal. And what he did, he went and he coached kids in soccer in Liberia, brought soccer to their villages. It was beautiful what he did. And he ended up going out there and taking it further and actually started building houses and soccer fields for these kids. So I was going to go out with him one year. And so I actually looked up, and in Naperville, I was living in Illinois at the time. In Naperville, they had a vaccine clinic. You had to get certain vaccines for this area of Africa. And it was shit I've never even heard of. Like the list of vaccines was like this long. And I was just going to go get them. And then my wife watched a documentary on General Butt Naked. She wouldn't let me go. So with that being said, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of weird diseases all over the place that we don't get here in America. Didn't most of us get an experimental? Yes, a lot of people did. I did not. Big Rob Fitness sits down to pee. I forgot about him. Wow, bringing back the past. Hello, Mark and crew. What's up, Sarah? How are you doing, young lady? From Guns Fishing in USA, I think that flag says the country is best. May God help us. I think the country is great, but I think we can always be better. MMA Husky, 300 milligrams of test is because you in the U.S. have had sports TRT, and Anavar is not too harsh. I don't know if my doctor would ever give me 300 mgs a test. He just wouldn't. You have to go black market for that one, bro. Take your GH, take your TRT. Anything past that is a health risk, no matter how good you say your markers are. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. When you have super high elevated testosterone, I think TRT is meant to bring you back up to normal. Once you get into super physiological levels, shit gets weird. It does. Oh God, now we're getting on the, oh my God. Now we're going flat earth. I love you guys. You guys have more ADHD than I do. The earth is a sphere, just for the record. Don't go full, you know what. Thank you, Lars. Appreciate that. Appreciate the flat earth debate. We really needed that today. Don't take steroids, take creatine. And if you are going to take creatine, take MTS Nutrition Creapure Creatine. Coupon code 10% off. Coupon code YOUTH, YOUTH, 10% off. Just saying. I wasn't going to do a coupon here, but he brought me there. It is the chat. Mark, would you rather lose 2 inches on your arms or ½ inch on the penis? I'm married, dude. I don't even use my penis anymore. With that being said, in the rare of, so how do I explain this without being weird? So here's the reason I would never take anything off my penis. Because again, like I do okay, but if you decrease the size, there's less availability of positions, right? Like you can't really do unique positions when you have a small wing, right? You can't. It's just impossible. Like reverse cowgirl, that's not happening. Again, this is not the topic of this video, guys, but you ask the questions. I'm sorry if I'm going off topic here. But yes, I would not take any inches off my penis because I like it and it does the job well, and I don't want it to do less of a job. I like to keep my wife happy. You guys know what I'm saying? There's certain positions you can't do if you have a small penis. And I like to mix it up. I like to mix it up. I'm sorry, that's just me. Call me weird. Boom. Thank you, Martin. Okay, you people now are laughing. I'm not even kidding though. Like think about, for those of you like, is there anybody in here with like a small one and you have to resort to like certain positions because it's too small? So this is what, guys, I'm not disrespecting the topic of this video. We're addressing it. We're serious. Now it's open Q&A and I go wherever the chat takes me. So is there anybody here with a small penis and you can't do certain positions that you want to do because it just won't physiologically work? Because I'm guessing that's frustrating. Let me know. Comment in the chat. Or comment in the comment section if you're watching after the fact. Ha 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 ha, my bad, bro. Thank you. The flat earth was way more not weird than the penis one. By the way, guys, we have a ton of people on here. If you want to keep the chat going, I've budgeted an extra 10 minutes. So I have till 3:30 Central Standard. So ask all the questions you want, no matter how weird they are. That's because I got a new channel, youtube.com/@lowblinertv. I don't care about this one. We're just having fun here. Ask me any question you want. Okay. Jesus Christ. If the penis was 10 inches and arms 20 inches, I'll take a loss to 8 inches on my penis. LOL, come on, man. What is wrong with some of you? I'm not. I'm keeping the 10-incher and I'm walking around naked everywhere. I'm going to look beast in posing trunks, bro. Thanks, Chris. Yes. From Lars. This is why I'm not getting rid of this channel. I've always wanted to be with a midget chick just for my bucket list. Not going to lie. If I was single, there's a lot of checklist I would have. Luckily, I'm not single. Just saying for the record, if I was single, definitely, look, man, I'm not racist, but like, you know, I like Skittles. I like to taste the rainbow. I'd mix it up. I'm not racist. Anything, right? Bodybuilder chick, absolutely. Midget, absolutely. Not even questioning it. I'm going in. Like, I'm experimenting because you might like it. I'm getting with big chicks, small chicks, black chicks, brown chicks, yellow chicks, white chicks, don't care. Midget chicks, bodybuilder chicks, chicks with dicks. I don't care. No, I'm kidding about the last one. I was born with a very small faith. However, I learned that Yeshua was the way. Trust in him before it's too late. That just made it really awkward that we're talking about this, and this guy brings up God. From Angie, you're awesome. Love you. I love you too, Angie. And again, if I was single, no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. I would, but LOL. I'm screaming. That's what she said. Oh, Annabelle. Annabelle, why is it always you? What is the male version of beef curtains? I would say old man scrotum. There was this guy. I shit you not. There was this guy. His name was Dave, and I think he's still alive. He was like 60 or like 55, 60 years old. He lived on my wife's block, like her neighborhood. He lived right there on her block. And Dave would wear short shorts, and he didn't wear underpants. And he wasn't like a pedophile or anything. He was just an old guy who didn't care. Every once in a while, his nutsack would just seep right out of the bottom. It was old man nuts. And have you ever been to the gym? And old men, for some reason, for you ladies watching this, this is true. For some reason, old men in locker rooms love drying their balls with the hand dryer. They will stand under there. It's like, shh. They got their leg up and they're like blow drying their balls. And that would be the male version of beef curtains. Annabelle, thank you for letting me answer that. Tell us some of I told you everything on the list, man. I mean, again, like, I'm happy I'm married because, again, like, imagine if you could read minds and you ended up accidentally reading my mind. You would need therapy. You would need counseling. From Jarella, this discussion went in an odd direction. I think it went in a pretty consistent direction with where this channel usually goes. Nah, bro, you can never be single. You have a good heart. People need to see that. I know, that's why I'm not single. But I'm just saying, I'm very happily married. But if I wasn't, there'd be a big checklist, and I would seek it out. I'd go to like a midget bar one day. I'd go to like a fitness trade show the next day. I'd be picking them out. I'd go to like a club that had different ethnicities one day. I'd go to like a friggin' what do they call it? Like a mariachi thing the next day. Oh, it'd be great. How many times a week do you have sex? With myself? Oh, that's a good question. It varies. I mean, we have kids, right? So, I mean, we get busy. We're tired at night. If it was up to me, as much as possible. So I would say it varies. It varies. It could be more frequent or less frequent based on work volume and travel. I mean, we've been married. We've been together for damn near 30 years, man. It's one of those things, they're there tomorrow. So I understand. And we have a lot going on. Man, this video. Like imagine your PP is smaller, thinner clit. That would be, I guess that's dating a bodybuilder, right? Since you're talking about penis, what are those women with small clit, big clit? So bodybuilding. So when women take anabolic steroids, androgenic aromatizing steroids, they cause enlargement of the clit. And so they literally become like mini penises. They just get inflamed and they get big. I think it's a great thing. I'm just saying, I think it's a cheat code because those things can be really hard to find at times. I have 3 races on my resume: 1 black, a lot of yellow, and an equal amount of milk skin ones. Lars, you're the man. Yes, this happens at YMCA all the time. Why old men? We're talking about the old men blow drying their balls. What's your thoughts on hyperplasia? It happens. The old thought was that HGH increases hyperplasia, but it actually happens, muscle satellite cell proliferation. So it can happen. It is the replication or the growth of new muscle cells. It can also happen with fat cells. A lot of the new data on Ozempic, we talked about this on our other podcast, Evening Rants, youtube.com/@Evening Rants. Dr. Sean Baker was talking about how Ozempic, it shrinks your fat, it makes you lose fat, but it causes hyperplasia of fat cells, which means that you have more cells to get fat when you gain the weight back, which is why you need to keep taking it if you start it. My brother told me guys in locker rooms don't give a fuck. It's all hanging out. It depends. The older guys just don't care. I'm one of those guys. I just don't care. I've had more men see me naked than pretty much every swinger. Yeah, it's just, some people don't care. Like, I don't purposely walk around naked, but if I'm changing, I don't care. A lot of people do, and there's nothing wrong with being modest. So I came in late. What happened with the 19-year-old bodybuilder? Unfortunately, he passed away. If you watch the replay again, we're not disrespecting him. It's just I opened up the chat, and this is what the chat does. So please don't take it as such. This is going to sound like I'm lying, but I'm not. I live alone. I actually cut a hole in my mattress to let it hang loose when I sleep. And now I have very tight balls. Not they were ever loose. Lars, I really need to meet you in person. Katie is a special woman. Yes, she sure is. She sure is. But they're real good now. Okay, sorry, TMI. Okay, Lars. Women get big vaginas when they take steroids. Actually, just the clitoris. I believe the vagina goes unscathed. Favorite toys? We don't have time for that shit. Favorite toy is name is Mark. I like boobs. I like everything. I mean, I like women. I like my wife. I like women. I think the woman's body is just awesome. Like, it's just awesome. Like the female physique is just phenomenal. It's just beautiful. Women are just beautiful creatures. And we should respect that. They can carry life in their body. They're amazing. If he took the jab, it's just as likely that as anything else. I think it's something we should look into. I actually do. I heard Ozempic is extremely expensive. Is that true? I know I could Google it. Yes, it is very expensive. And they want us to cover it with our tax dollars. Thank you very much, America. No problema again. Have you ever seen a woman, whether online or real, who has like a cow pussy? This is not going to be monetized. It's so big for some reason. I've seen a lot of things in my life. Never in person, but definitely on the internet. Do I sleep naked? No, I couldn't. Like, I can't. Like, what if my kids walked in or something? No problemo. Not for us. My husband takes it for diabetes. It's cheap with our insurance. Well, it's expensive for your insurance. It's cheap for you. So, yeah. How do you feel about perverted questions? Well, I've answered them. My goal with chat is to answer every question within reason, because I'm not above answering anything, mostly. So, and also, this isn't a child's channel, so, it's not made for kids. So, like, if you want to have these questions answered, I mean, we could talk about it. I mean, it is what it is. You make a great comedian. I can see you in Vegas making people laugh. Man, I don't know. I mean, I'm just answering questions. But and telling old stories. Anyway, guys, I do have to go. I have a meeting in 3 minutes. So I appreciate you guys watching. Again, the point of this video, the beginning, was to discuss what happened. And the end of this video was simply chat and Q&A, which is separate from the video itself. So this is not meant as disrespect to the title. This is what chatting with people is. And this is why YouTube's amazing, because we can have these conversations and it's not weird. Actually, it is weird. It is very weird. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Mark Globaliner, taking out with an ad because it's awkward when I say goodbye and it shows me shutting down. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Love y'all. Every few years, we get a new version of creatine. Creatine HCl, creatine ethyl ester, you name it, there's a new creatine. But one stands out as the best, as the tried and true, and that's creatine monohydrate. But not all creatines are created equal. Most of the creatine comes from China. I'm not saying anything bad about Chinese ingredients. A lot of them are great. But if I'm taking creatine, the most important, most beneficial, most amazing, most studied supplement, I want to get it from the most pure source. I want to get it from the source where all the studies that we cite were done on. And that is CreaPure Creatine. So that's why I came out with my own brand of MTS Nutrition CreaPure Creatine. Not only are you getting the CreaPure branded creatine, but you're also getting it from a source that you know tested coming in, going out from MTS Nutrition, the brand you love, the brand you trust. And by buying from us, you're buying it from a company who supports you and here to help you reach your goals. Support companies who love you, support companies who don't hate you. If you take creatine, take MTS Nutrition CreaPure Creatine, I can say this with the certainty, with the utmost certainty, that this is the best creatine you can buy, period.